A lifelong atheist dies and is surprised to find himself before the pearly gates. St. Peter sadly shakes his head and tells him that because of his non-belief, he must be sent to hell. The devil greets him there and shows him where he will now spend eternity. A lovely, cozy cottage set on a beautiful hillside where the sweet smell of flowers fills the air. The devil tells him he will want for nothing and to feel free to walk the grounds. One day, while he is out strolling through the idyllic gardens, he comes across a tall wall. Curious, he climbs one of the many trees and, peering over the wall, is shocked to see a fire-filled field with people writhing in agony and screaming hopelessly. He is very disturbed by this sight and returns home. The next day, the devil pays him a visit and asks how he is enjoying eternity. The atheist says he finds hell to be a lovely place, but is concerned about the things he saw on the other side of the wall. "Oh," the devil says, "those are Christian sinners." "But why," the man asks, "are they suffering so much while I, who didn't believe in God at all, am here in such comfort?" "I don't know," the devil replies, shrugging. "That's just the way they want it." A man and his wife are awakened at 3 o'clock in the morning by a loud pounding on the door. The man gets up and goes to the door where a drunken stranger, standing in the pouring rain, is asking for a push. "Not a chance," says the husband. "It is 3 o'clock in the morning." He slams the door and returns to bed. "Who was that?" asked his wife. He answers, "Just some drunk guy asking for a push," he answers. "Did you help him?" she asks. "No, I did not. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and it is pouring rain out there." "Well, you have a short memory," says his wife. "Can't you remember about 3 months ago when we broke down and those two guys helped us? I think you should help him, and you should be ashamed of yourself." The man does as he is told, gets dressed, and goes out into the pounding rain. He calls out into the dark, "Hello, are you still there?" "Yes," comes back the answer. "Do you still need a push?" calls out the husband. "Yes, please," comes the reply from the dark. "Where are you?" asks the husband. The drunk replies, "Over here on the swing." A man is having marital problems, so decides to see a therapist. The man says, "I don't know what to do. Every day my wife seems to lose her temper with me for no reason." "It's getting worse," he says. "I tell her that other women I work with don't act crazy the way she does, but she doesn't listen." The therapist thinks for a moment, then says, "I think I have an answer for your problem. When it seems that your wife is getting angry, just take a glass of water and start swishing it in your mouth. Just swish and swish, but don't swallow it until she either leaves the room or calms down." 2 weeks later, the man goes back to the therapist looking fresh and reborn. The man says, "That was a brilliant idea. Every time my wife started berating me, I swished with water. I swished and swished, and after a few minutes, she calmed right down. How does a glass of water do that?" The therapist says, "The water itself does nothing. It's keeping your mouth shut that does the trick." A very cranky old woman was arrested for shoplifting at a supermarket. She gave everyone a hard time, from the store manager to the security guard to the arresting officer who took her away. She complained and criticized everything and everyone throughout the process. When she appeared before the judge asked her what she had stolen from the store. The lady defiantly replied, "Just a stupid can of peaches." The judge then asked why she had done it. She replied, "I was hungry and forgot to bring any cash to the store." The judge asked how many peach pieces were in the can. She replied in a nasty tone, "9, but why do you care about that?" The judge answered patiently, "Well, ma'am, because I'm going to give you 9 days in jail, 1 day for each peach." As the judge was about to drop his gavel, the lady's long-suffering husband raised his hand slowly and asked if he might speak. The judge said, "Yes, sir. What do you have to add?" The husband said meekly, "Your Honor, she also stole a can of peas." A new business was opening, and a longtime friend of the owner decided to send flowers for the occasion. He arrived at the grand opening, accepted a glass of cold drink and a warm handshake from his host, then browsed about the room, examining the many floral arrangements and potted plants. Finally, he happened upon his own offering, only to find an attached card bearing this sentiment: "Rest in peace." Embarrassed and irate at the florist's error, he phoned to lodge a complaint. After venting his anger in a lengthy tirade, he waited impatiently for the florist's explanation. "Sir, I'm really sorry for the mistake, but rather than getting angry, imagine this. Somewhere a funeral is taking place today, and they have a lovely floral spray with an attached note saying, 'Congratulations on your new location.'" Three old master sergeants were sitting around a table having drinks at the club and talking about how tough the men in their respective units were. The first sergeant says, "We have the toughest men in the army in our unit. We had one of our guys get his guts shot out. I mean all his guts. 24 hours later, he was back on duty." "That's nothing," says the second sergeant. "We had a guy in our outfit who had his brains shot out. I mean all his brains. 24 hours later, he was back on duty." "I've got both of you guys beat," says the third sergeant. "We've got second lieutenants in our outfit with no brains or guts, and they're on duty all the time." Two men were sitting next to each other at a bar. After a while, one guy looks at the other and says, "I can't help but think, from listening to you, that you're from Ireland." The other guy responds proudly, "Yes, that I am." The first guy says, "So am I. And whereabout from Ireland might you be?" The other guy answers, "I'm from Dublin, I am." The first guy responds, "Sure and begorra, and so am I." "And what street did you live on in Dublin?" The other guy says, "A lovely little area it was. I lived on McCleary Street in the old central part of town." The first guy says, "Faith, and it's a small world. So did I. And to what school would you have been going?" The other guy answers, "Well now, I went to St. Mary's, of course." The first guy gets really excited and says, "And so did I. Tell me, what year did you graduate?" The other guy answers, "Well now, I graduated in 1964. The first guy exclaims, "The good Lord must be smiling down upon us. I can hardly believe our good luck at winding up in the same bar tonight. Can you believe it? I graduated from St. Mary's in 1964 my own self." About this time, another guy walks into the bar, sits down, and orders a beer. The bartender walks over, shaking his head, and mutters, "It's gonna be a long night tonight." The Murphy twins are drunk again.